once we configure the alarm, it will keep on showing after every minute to us. So let me see if I got an email. I'm supposed to get an email as well. Okay, let's let it run and let it. So I think it's still less than 70%. Okay, this machine is ready. Go instances. Let's log into this metadata thing. What is happening? This is why it's so slow. This is my public IP. I'm going to log into this machine as well. You can also check whether this HTTP server got installed or not. It's working. This is a demo web page. So if I go back, let's go to the S3 thing. I can see that this bucket was created. Okay. And we got this index.html which we created on the web page, actually, which we did not create. It was created by our user data or the bash script, and we put a command at the last that we while this instance is getting created, a bucket should be created, and this file should be copied over there. So it has been done. You can see that index.html is copied here. Okay, so let's go back. I'll go to the CloudWatch again. So this is still not reached to that level. You can see that it's still there at 65.2%. So we need to wait for some time. Let's log into the other machine which we created for this one, and we'll see what we're going to do with that machine. I'm in console. This is our second machine which we created, and basically I want you to remember one command which I'm going to type on this machine, which is going to give you the user data and the metadata. This is very important as far as the examination is concerned. So please make a note of it somewhere. So the command which I'm going to tell you is curl http colon 169.254.169.254 slash latest slash user dash data. If you need to find the user data on your, just make it a bit change it, user data. So you can see it will give you the user data which we just put it. You can see that this was the command, or this was the bash script which I ran. It's still there. It is showing to me, right? By using this command curl http 169.254.169.254 slash latest slash user data. Sometime exam ask about the user data, sometime exam ask about the metadata. So I'll go the same command and I'm gonna do metadata this time. Okay, so this will give you a lot of fields regarding the specific EC2 instance. This is giving, I mean, this is showing what all metadata is available for this particular EC2 instance. Suppose, let's say I want to find out what is instance ID for this machine. Okay, so you can go that slash instance dash ID. It will show you the instance ID here. You can see here. This one is the instance ID. If you want, what is my public IP of this machine? You can go here and see from the field here on the top of there is a field called public IP4. If you put public IP4 dash IP version 4, enter it, it will show you the public IP. Okay, you can do a lot of things. You can send this to a text file, put it on S3. Lot of things you can do. Okay, let's see what we can do about it. Okay, so this is my public IP version 4, and let's not public IP, let's do the user data thing. That would be good. This is my user data, what I want that it should be going into, what should we call, let's say user.txt. Let's say cat user.txt. All data is there. Okay. Clear the screen. What I can do is I can take this file to the same bucket which we created earlier. Hey, what was the bucket name? Let me find out the bucket name. I forgot the bucket name. Sorry guys, so what I was telling is that you need to remember this command. Okay, and I'm putting this command for everyone so that you can make note of it. This is one is user data and one is metadata. Okay, this is for your reference, and you will certainly find a question around this. So please remember, when we use user data, it's basically about the data which user has inputted, and when question is asking about data regarding your EC2 instance, then you need to use a latest slash metadata, and the latest has to come. Okay, and again I'm going to show you one more time. This one, you can see there are a lot of fields are available. Look at it. So we have AMI ID, we have launch index, AMI manifest, block device mapping, events, hibernation, host name, IAM roles, identity credentials, a lot of things you can find out from this metadata. MAC address, metrics, network placement group, profiles, public host name, public IP, public keys, reservation ID, all these things you can find out. Okay. So if you, let's say, if I want to see slash So you can see it will also tell you which is the security group behind which your EC2 instance is. Okay, so that's how you can make use of it. Use this command from here to here, and then you can put up a field from above whatever you get, and you can get the desired information. You can also send it to some kind of I mean text file the way we did on top here, and then you can copy it back to S3, take it somewhere else, run a lambda function against. A lot of things you can do. Okay, questions guys about this? Let's go there again and see what's the status of our CloudWatch alarm. This is really taking it long, and looks like the loop is not giving lot of load on that. This was the bucket. I think with both the files have been copied back here. Yes, we have this. If you look at the user.txt, I don't think it would be public, but still we can see. You can see this is the script which I ran over there, and it has been copied back from the text file, and we have copied this text file to the S3 bucket of ours. That's how you can make use of it. And if I go to my CloudWatch console again, and go to monitoring, is in fact decreasing now. I think that loop did not work well. So basically the idea is so that you can run those commands which can, if you can increase the load, they can help you to do that. Ravi Shankar, you can use a lot of things. I mean, see, once you get the metadata, it all depends how do you want to use it and where you want to use it. Okay, so metadata is just it's nothing to do with the CloudWatch. The CloudWatch is a separate thing and metadata is a separate thing. I was showing the metadata because I wanted to show you that URL which basically comes into the exam. So it comes in two ways. Either they can ask for the user data or the metadata. If they are asking about any information which is about your EC2 instance, then you can use the URL with /latest/metadata. If they are using they are asking, or the scenario in the question is asking about user, then you can use that URL /latest/user data. Okay, and I have been listening that this question keeps on coming every time, so that's what I wanted to let you know guys, that this is where you can check it. And there are a lot of ways you can make use of it. You can use you can put this as what we did. We created that file out of that metadata. We send it to the S3. After that S3, we can create a lambda function. We can raise a lambda function. A lot of things we can do, right? So the reason was this metadata has nothing to do with the CloudWatch. It's a different thing altogether. Just want to touch upon this because I heard that this comes into the exam. So I wanted you to let you know and keep a record of that URL. That's why I copied and pasted in the chat as well. You can keep it with you. Yeah, it's common for all around. It's the same IP. And it's easy to remember 169.254, 169.255. So just keep it, I mean, just remember it somehow. Okay, so if we see that this thing is going down, down, down. So I think that loop did not work properly. It's no longer able to give that load. So basically you can use other script as well if you find which can create some load on this one. Where's the alarm gone? Okay, cool. So guys, we are done here. So that's it. And before you go there, you can look at here. You can create dashboards here. Give it a name. Let's call it demo dashboard, where you can use it like a kind of a console if you want. this is basically nobody would ask you to do it in, let's say we have numbers. We don't have any matrix currently, so it will be empty. So basically you can select something from here. Let's say estimated charges, US dollars, create a widget. So it will start showing you once this estimated charges start showing up here. So there you can keep on adding widgets here. You can keep a widget for, let's say, kind of a line chart. And again, we have billing matrix only by service. Let's say CloudWatch. So you can see currently we don't have anything, so there's no data to show here. But that's how you keep on adding that widgets. Those widgets will start showing you the real-time performance of your matrix. Okay, this is where you can create uh, dashboards, you can create alarms, you can create your events. Okay, also this is all part of your system admin or sysops exam. Not much is being asked in the solutions architect, but just you should know. And now they have added this container inside. It has been recently added. It was not there, I mean, 10-15 days back. This has been recently added, all these things. It was not there earlier. Yeah, sure, we'll do that, Tarun. Okay, so we are done for the day. Any questions for me? I'm gonna keep on deleting all these things now. First, I'm gonna delete the instances for him so that he should not be get charged unnecessary. Alarm has already been gone, so nothing is there as well. Questions, guys? Arun, I have deleted your instances, so that's it.
Vishnu, it's Maninder here.
Yeah,
Will
Maninder.
you provide some questions of the exam so that we can
No,
prepare?
Maninder. Maninder,
We
no, I won't
are
do the question. Do that.
we are daily maintaining what you are saying. That's good, but
Mm-hmm.
so that we can some de- demo na, so that we would know what are the questions coming like that, so we can
See,
prepare that.
Maninder, that would be really difficult because I do not keep a log of it. Whatever my students keep on telling me who gives the exam, I keep on sharing with you guys. And today, what I just showed you, both these questions were in the exam. So I just wanted to show you that this is something which is being asked recently. Now, regarding the exam questions, I will try to help you out, but not the exam questions, but I'll do something which will help you increase your knowledge. Okay,
Sure.
I would be doing at the end of the course, I would sit with you guys and we'll do the FAQs, which will heavily help you to clear your exam.
And
We'll
how
try.
many classes left?
I cannot tell you right now, like, I mean, how many classes are left. It depends how many topics you want to speed me up or you want me to slow down, because there are a couple of guys who say want me to slow down, and there are a couple of guys who want that I should speed up, and a lot of guys says I should maintain the pace. So there's no, I mean, decision yet. It all depends upon you guys.
Hello, this is Ravi. I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
Yeah. So how do we find out how much it was charged today for using CloudWatch? Is it possible to watch now?
Yes, okay. No. It's not possible right now because we didn't use it much. Okay. Basically, you can go into the billing and see what are the services which are causing you charge, and also we created a dashboard as well here. Okay. If you go to the dashboard, we have added some. You can see we have added some widgets here. Once you start getting charged, it'll start reflecting here. But billing immediately does not show up. It takes a bit of time before it starts showing in your console. So that's why you will not see anything else here. Otherwise, you can go to your this place and my billing dashboard. I'm going to leave the page. But again, you will not see it immediately. Okay, so it'll take some time before it starts showing, reflecting the charges here. Currently, it shows 000, nothing is there. Okay, and you can see, you can find it out from which service you are using and how much you are using. Okay, So like we have got 750 hours of this thing free. We have got almost used 321 hours now. Okay. From here you can find out like your EBS 1 GB, and you have got you 17.21% of the free tier. All these things you can check from here. Okay.
So we also discuss about the cloud trial as well, right?
Right.
Okay.
See, these kind of a question they keep on coming, and again I'm reiterating it, that you need to understand the difference between CloudWatch and CloudTrail. CloudWatch would be used for monitoring, and CloudTrail would be used for auditing. So you need to go through the scenario question very carefully. What are they asking for? Most of the questions will give you the scenario, will ask you to choose the service which will fulfill the criteria, or which will fulfill that, or which will help to manage that scenario. So whatever we are doing we're doing this hands-on. Most of the time these hands-on are just to give you an idea how does the service work. Okay. Otherwise the associate level exam, they only expect you to know which service can help you to give you a cost optimized, high available, reliable kind of a solution, and they want to test you around the services. Okay.
And let us assume that if the CPU utilization is going beyond 70%, right? So,
Your voice is breaking, Ravi.
oh, okay. Is it better now?
Better, but it drops in between.
Okay. If the CPU utilization is beyond 70%, let us assume, if I wanted to add one more server to increase utilization so that the total overall percentage will go down to below 70, how can we do that?
Okay, I think you did not notice that there was a couple of actions were given over there. Okay, although you can create those options there as well. There was an option. See, we selected an EC2 action, right? There was an option for auto scaling as well. So auto scaling means what? It will increase your resources again. Okay, I'll show you again. I think you forgot it. I mentioned it
Yeah,
actually.
while I think in the same screen where you mentioned the
I'll show you
auto,
again. Don't worry.
email trigger ID.
Yes, yes, yes. The same screen,
Yeah,
same screen.
okay.
If you go there, I'll not create it. I'll just show you here. You can see this auto scaling action.
Okay.
So you can see what you want to do. Auto scaling is, or you want to use EC2 container service. Let's say auto scaling from now we don't have anything, right? So we cannot do anything. But this is where you can auto scale it if you want to. See, now there are two ways. Either you can. We do not have an EC2 instance currently, so it will start showing that action also. So you can increase the auto scaling resources, the resources to take care of that workload, or you will get a notification based on that. You can take a manual action also.
Okay.
Okay. Suppose your administrator will get, let's say that the email ID which we put there, we put the email ID of the concerned administrator. He look at the alert, he see, okay, this is alert, then this is what is happening. And you can also allow him to take a manual action also. So he'll take a manual action as well.
Okay. So if I wanted to do an auto scaling, only if during the peak period, let us assume that November to December, right? And after from January to October, I don't want to do auto scaling. That is in the case, how can we do that?
Don't do it here. Don't specify an auto scaling. Don't do that. See, auto scaling has a lot of options, right? Scheduled, manual, and reactive. So first of all, what the condition you are telling me, it's basically scheduled. Looks like a scheduled option would be helpful over there. So put up a schedule in such a way, then you will not be bothering about this CPU percentage going up before October, right? So you will not take any action about it because you just don't want to do it anyway, right?
Okay. Yeah. Correct. Okay. Thanks.
Yep. Anyone else, guys? Okay, looks like no one. So I'm gonna stop here and talk to you tomorrow. Tarun, although I have removed almost everything, please have a look at it by logging in again. If you find something, please delete it. Okay. Also, we check that you do not have anything in the billing currently. You are not billed anything. It's zero still. Thanks, man. Okay. In the meantime, stay safe, take care, and good night, everyone.